Maggie Vespa is in Southern Oregon right now, and I talked to her earlier about her experience, what she's seen so far during this fire reporting.
Okay, let's check in with Maggie Vespa. Maggie, first of all, just wanted to know what it's like trying to report down there. I know that it's kind of difficult for reporters to get access to some of these fires.
Yeah, definitely. We're here in Bly, by the way, at the ranger station just along the highway. And just for reference, we're about 5 miles south of the fire line right now. It's been moving north and northeast, as we know. Oregon law requires that reporters be escorted to the fire lines by firefighters if they go at all. And getting access to this fire, the bigger it's getting, and frankly, the bigger a story it becomes, is getting more difficult because we essentially have to get a reservation to get escorted by these firefighters who essentially do that job, who bring media in. And now we have the entire country paying attention to this fire. I was told, CNN, national networks are coming in, national publications and newspapers are coming in, and they want to see this fire. So the reservations filled up really quickly. We're trying to get to the front lines tomorrow or Friday to see this fire up close. But for now, we're still a little ways away. That said, the smoke is everywhere. So, it doesn't feel far.
So what do people need to know about this fire right now? I mean, not only just the people kind of living closer to where the fire line is, but folks in the more populated areas kind of up here around Portland. What should we all be paying attention to?
Yeah, so this fire has moved away from the more populated areas down here in Southern Oregon, places like Bly, where we've been talking to people. And that is good news just for the immediate fear that, the raging fire is upon them. That's not the case anymore. That said, I just kind of want to show you guys some video. We talked to a family who lives near Bly, and they showed us, hey, the firefighters had to move on with the fire, and we get it because they're overwhelmed by the size of this. But hotspots are still springing up on our property, and this father and son were out with their hose spraying down hot spots themselves and very afraid that a new fire could spring up and trees could burn on their property. So that's number one. Like, the fire's moved away from these people, but they're still nervous, understandably. Number two is just for people who are living far away from the fire footprint right now. The size of this is really jarring, especially this early in the season. This is now, as of midday Wednesday, the fourth largest fire in Oregon's history, roughly 400,000 acres. It's quickly closing in on being the third largest fire in Oregon's history. And it's really early in the season for that to be happening. This is July. And firefighters today multiple times kept saying, we usually think of this as being like a brief window in August when it's been this dry and this hot for this long, that the risk is this high. And so for them, they said, this feels a month early. And we've talked before about the fire season is just getting perpetually longer. So it's just, there are a lot of things that stand out about this, for sure.
I think about the first responders a lot in these situations. I know a lot of people do, but it's just such difficult work. The fire is burning day and night, and it always needs to be tended to. So given the conversations we've had about these firefighters, about how much they get paid and the morale that they are dealing with and the overwhelming nature of the magnitude of this fire, what have you heard from the crews down there?
Yeah, the firefighters have been really generous with their time. I mean, they're exhausted. They're working 16-hour days every day. That being said, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities or just outside the realm of logic that they're not being that transparent with their frustrations with TV crews. When we get to talk to a firefighter, it's arranged by a public relations officer who is also a firefighter, someone with that expertise. And so I asked them, I said, I don't want to put this in your head, but aren't you just exhausted? Like, thinking about how big this is, how early it is, aren't you just exhausted? And they said, yeah, everybody's exhausted, but this is what we prepare for, and this is the work that we do, and it's what we love, and it's in a way exhilarating, and we know there's a purpose here. And so they were really, the ones that we've spoken to have been very stoic and very professional about it. But we've all seen kind of the headlines and the conversations that have been coming out of this group. And it would be understandable, given the conditions that they're in, if frustration was mounting and exhaustion was mounting too.
It takes a special type of person to do that work, and we're glad they're down there working for us. So, Maggie, thanks for keeping us updated. We'll check back in with you sometime soon.
Sure.